What a lovely day. The Macintosh Portable was Apple's first ever laptop, if you can call it that. And its fate was pretty much the same as other gigantic portable computers like this from the 1980s. It was just too big to be practical. History has not remembered the Macintosh Portable too fondly. In fact, Time declared it totally awful, and PC World ranked it the 17th worst tech product of all time. But I think history is wrong. I don't think this was a totally awful device at all. In fact, I think it's brilliant. When you look past this rather goofy beige facade, what you find is one of the most intuitive and thoughtfully engineered products that the world of tech has ever made. But before I tell you all about it, a quick word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by 4Movie, makers of the world's first and only 4K ultra short throw laser projector with Dolby Vision technology for ultra bright, vivid colors. It's Android 11 TV certified with Chromecast and Google Assistant built in, plus with 3 HDMI ports, 2 USB, optical audio, and 3.5mm line out, as well as Ethernet. It has all the connectivity you could ever need. It also comes packed with built-in Bowers & Wilkins speakers with Dolby Atmos support. This thing is basically a 150-inch movie theater in a box. And because of that ultra short throw design, it can be placed on a TV stand or dresser and allows for screen sizes from 80 to 150 inches. That's quite the range. And with vibrant colors afforded by the ALPD 4.0 RGB laser technology, you can enjoy cinema as it was meant to be. These days, projectors are getting crazy good. I mean, we're seeing things with Dolby Vision, ultra short throw projectors with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, all built into one. It's absolutely incredible. And through November 25th, they're running a special Black Friday discount, so you don't want to miss it. Check out the link in the description below. And now let's get back to the video. So to show you what makes the Macintosh Portable so clever, I've exploded mine. And I promise that's going to make sense. But first, a little bit of context of the history of portable computers. How did we get here? It all started with the MCM70, largely considered the first usable portable computer. It came out in 1973, so don't expect much. It has a cassette player and a one-line plasma screen. It took another 9 years to get something perhaps a little bit more recognizable, the Osborne 1. It was a rugged luggable described as a cross between a World War II radio and a shrunken instrument panel from a DC-3. That is a direct quote. It featured word processing, spreadsheets, and some other impressive software and came in at $1,795 or $5,700 today, and that made it extremely cheap somehow. But throughout the 1980s, a variety of funky portables came out, including the K-Pro 2, Grid Compass, TRS Model 100, IBM PC Convertible, and Zenith Mini Sport, to name a few. The common thread you might spot here is tiny screens, weird shapes that don't really look like laptops, and keyboards as the only input devices. In fact, by 1987, 14 years after the original portable computer, the portable market wasn't exactly taking off.
Portable computers have yet to achieve the popularity originally predicted by industry analysts. But with legible screens, lighter weight, and some serious software, portables are becoming genuine alternatives.
By 1989, Apple decided to throw their hat in the ring, and in typical Apple fashion, it was leaked.
An Apple insider has leaked detailed information about the development of a portable computer along the lines of the Macintosh. Now, an article in this magazine, Macintosh Today is the magazine, it describes the size and the technical specifications of the computer, which is supposedly still under development.
And also, as you'd expect, Apple's take on the Portable was a little different from the competition. First of all, the launch event for this thing was hilarious.
Thank you and good morning. I brought a little something this morning to help with my presentation.
The Macintosh Portable was going to be different. Effortless, usable, and actually portable. You could bring it to the beach, run through the streets with it, examine important construction documents, survey wilderness, take a rickshaw ride, climb a mountain. Oh, okay, all right, this seems like a bit much.
This is the carrying case extended edition.
But the craziest thing about this keynote, and indeed the Macintosh Portable itself, is that they actually assembled one live on stage during the keynote.
So I will attach the motherboard to the subframe, and everything goes in with a satisfying noise. Now I'll take the bottom pan and put the subframe and logic board on it.
Yeah, that is a real thing that happened on stage at an Apple keynote, and you will never see that again. But it does demonstrate exactly why this machine was so well engineered, and that is that I can go from this gigantic pile of disassembled parts, and I can put this computer back together without any tools required. And to prove it, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So our starting point here is this massive square bottom plate that everything attaches to, and like a lot of older Macintoshes, it has the signatures of the entire team that worked on it carved into the bottom here. But we actually don't need to start with this. What I'm going to do is set that off to the side, and we're gonna grab this guy. This is basically the skeleton of the Macintosh Portable. And there's actually notches in the logic board that will line up with notches on this skeleton here. Clip in and listen to that sound. It's so satisfying. And then we're going to go port side first, straight back. Now this just clips into place again. All of the connectors here are placed right in the middle, and they have pull tabs. I mean, come on. Now we get to the really cool part, the pièce de résistance, if you will. This keyboard, first of all, mechanical. It's really, really good. It goes over here, and we've got our trackball over here. But it doesn't have to be like that, because the keyboard is actually wired with connections on either side. And that means that you can swap the keyboard and the trackball. They can go in either orientation. So if you're left or right-handed, you can swap these around. That's crazy. Isn't that so cool? I'm gonna do the default configuration today. Boom, that is so satisfying. Then we've got our connector here. Now we'll grab the trackball, same thing, just slides right in. It's so satisfying. Everything is just so well thought out, including the display, which is where we're on to next. And I know what you're thinking. This is what I thought the first time. How can you possibly have a display with hinges that doesn't need any screws? Well, this is the hinge. It slides in like so, and then there's a little pin here that you slide into place, which locks it. Now, we just slide the display onto it. Look at that. This connection right in the middle, very easy to access. We'll grab the other side and we'll maneuver that into place. And then we have these two end caps on either end, like so. That's crazy. Look, that's a display hinge that doesn't require a screwdriver. And now we're basically done. We just gotta put the keyboard cover on, pops right into place. It's got clips at the front. We go around the back here. We have our massive battery that just drops into place. Then we just have our back cover, which slides on like that. You can turn it around, hit the space bar, and we're in. That's it. But all that is just one reason why I think this machine is so revolutionary. The Macintosh Portable wasn't just Apple's first attempt at making a laptop. It also pioneered a lot of technology, features, and just simple user interface aspects of portable devices. For one, it has a very normal looking screen. I know it doesn't look like much, and it's not even backlit, which makes it quite hard to see and film, but this display was an active matrix LCD, and as far as I'm aware, this is the first portable device to feature one of those. This was absolutely cutting edge in 1989.
One transistor on the display per pixel. So this is in effect a very big integrated circuit, and putting one transistor per pixels allows us to control very precisely the electric field, high contrast, high speed, and very crisp pixels.
And when you look past the fact that there's no backlight, this display still looks really, really crisp. Obviously, it's not high resolution by today's standards, but in 1989, it was far greater resolution than what Apple was shipping in their desktops, and the pixels are so crisp thanks to active matrix technology. For comparison purposes, here is what a passive matrix display looks like on a PowerBook 165 that came out 4 years after this machine. You can clearly see how the pixels are spilling over, how shading is uneven throughout the display. It is noticeably worse. So while the lack of a backlight was definitely a drawback to the Macintosh Portable, you were not missing out in terms of cutting-edge display technology. You also weren't missing out in terms of the keyboard because it's mechanical and it's utterly phenomenal. Listen to the sound of this keyboard. Better than anything Apple's produced since, in my opinion. Plus, we've got one of the earliest implementations of a trackball, which is more than could be said for many other portables that didn't even have pointing devices and instead just used keyboards. And you weren't sacrificing on the inside either. My Macintosh Portable has a 40 megabyte SCSI hard drive as well as a standard floppy drive, which means that all of your Macintosh software would work on here as normal, and it would perform as normal too, because this has basically the exact same 68K processor that you would find in the Macintosh SE, the full-fat, full-performance desktop that was available at the same time. So to put this in perspective, imagine taking a top-of-the-line Mac Studio, putting a battery in it, and sticking a display and keyboard on it. That's basically what this is. You didn't sacrifice performance, you didn't sacrifice storage or I/O, you didn't sacrifice any of the usability of Mac OS. It ran the exact same System 7 that everything else was on. This thing was no compromise. Except there's no real way of getting around the fact that it weighs 16 pounds. So even though it was packed with this much technology, it was still so big and so heavy that you really can't call it a laptop. There's a reason why these early portable machines were called luggables or portables, because being physically able to move it around was just about the lowest bar for portability. So ultimately, the Macintosh Portable was doomed by the very features that made it really, really good. Apple made this portable computer that had no sacrifices. The same performance, the same storage, the same floppy drive, the same I/O, even a better mechanical keyboard and a more advanced display than their existing desktop models. But they still made it 16 pounds with no backlight on the display. So it didn't even matter. It didn't matter that the keyboard and trackball could switch positions for ambidextrous use. It didn't matter that the display was light years ahead of its time. It didn't matter that you could completely disassemble this machine without even a screwdriver. It's the size of a briefcase, and you can't see the screen, so nothing else matters. With dismal sales in 1989, Apple tried a quick band-aid. They put a backlit display on this thing, fixing one of the two major issues, but it was still a 16-pound laptop and it just didn't make sense. So as Apple was working on their replacement to the Portable, known as the PowerBook, they gave this machine to Sony and they said, hey, can you guys take this exact computer with all of the same internals and just make it smaller? And boy, did Sony deliver, because they built this, the PowerBook 100. That's right, this is identical on the component level to the Macintosh Portable. And the way that you can tell it's the same is the boot chime. This is the only PowerBook that sounds like that because this is the only PowerBook that is secretly a Macintosh Portable in disguise. Kinda crazy that these machines are just 2 years apart. Sony managed to shave 10 pounds off the Macintosh Portable, and they managed to do all of that while cutting the price in 3. The Macintosh Portable, when new, was $6,500. The PowerBook 100 came in at $2,299. For the same freaking computer, but 10 pounds smaller. That's crazy. But in some ways, it's a little sad. This display is no longer active matrix, which is clear when you spend any time using it. You can really see the difference in clarity and contrast. Also, the keyboards Apple used on the PowerBook 100 series are atrocious. It's not even close to the Macintosh Portable, and the trackball isn't as good either. They also ditched the built-in floppy drive, meaning you had to go and buy this goofy-looking external one, and worst of all, it's held together with screws. Oh my god, you need a screwdriver to open this thing. How could they do that? So the PowerBook 100 is an undeniably better laptop, probably because it actually is a laptop. It weighs 5 pounds, it has a palm rest, it has a backlight. It's just like a modern laptop from 2023. But the Macintosh Portable just has this special place in my heart. Not just because it's goofy and beige and very 80s, but because it's really good. It's tempting to look at this thing and go, they didn't know what they were doing. It's their first attempt at a laptop. Of course it's going to be crude and bad. But I actually don't think that's true at all. I think this is absolutely intentional. Apple wasn't trying to build the smallest computer ever. They were trying to make a real Macintosh with no sacrifices, but just have it be portable too. And they kind of nailed it. So I hope this video has changed your perspective or taught you something new about the Macintosh Portable. I genuinely love this computer. I think it is absolutely brilliant, and I hope you guys do too. So let me know in the comments below something that you didn't know or that surprised you, and also let me know if you'd like to see a full video on the PowerBook 100, because this is a really fascinating little laptop as well. So with all of that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.